this is Carol 503. Here we go. Okay. So she starts off, you can see at the top there, is lying a good fruit or a bad fruit? And so this is a response to several weeks ago when I was doing the podcast Defending Kerr, and we took Kerr through the Matthew 7 false prophet test, where we looked at fruit. We looked at the fruit of the Spirit. And so we know that the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Those are the 9 fruits of the Spirit that are listed in Galatians. And so those are what we're looking at when we put somebody through the Matthew 7 test to see what to examine their fruit, right? So lying, telling the truth or not telling the truth, is not on that list. So what she's trying to do here is trying to get off of the subject that I was talking about. And the reason why she's doing this is because the heretic hunters like to attack Kerr because she has made some predictions about things that did not come true. And so they attack her and they call her a liar because of this. And she's a false prophet because she said this thing and it didn't come true. And so this is the foundation. This is why Carol 503 is asking this question about lying. And so I tried to get her back on target here because we're not talking about lying. That's not part of the fruit of the Spirit. And so I asked her, is treating others hatefully good fruit or bad fruit? Let's go back to the subject of behavior. And so then she says, treating someone with hate is a bad fruit. So I was so thankful that she said that, because honestly, sometimes I wonder, because the troll people and some of the heretic hunters are so hateful in their behavior that it seems like they don't recognize treating other Christians hatefully as a bad fruit, as something bad. So I was glad she said that, but then she goes back to, but what about lying? And so here is my response to her, because asking this question about lying when it comes to determining if someone is a false prophet or not is actually the wrong question. Because first of all, it's not included, telling the truth or not telling the truth, that's not included in the gifts of the Spirit. So that's not part of the false prophet test of Matthew 7. It's not part of the false prophet test in 1 John 4, which is about the identity of Jesus Christ. So it is the wrong question. And there's a very important reason why lying is not included in our false prophet tests. And here's why. There's 2 different kinds of untruth. So the first kind is when somebody knows something is not true, and then they say it anyway. They intentionally lie. So now I agree, I'm sure Carol 503 would agree with me, that is bad. Intentionally lying is sinful behavior. That's not good at all. Okay, but then there's another kind of untruth, and that is when somebody really believes something that is not true, but they really believe it, and so they say that thing, and it's not true, but they really believe it's true, and so they're not intentionally lying. You see the difference? And so God has grace and mercy to cover that kind of situation, because when he's looking at us, he's looking at the thoughts and motivations of our heart. And so if somebody says something that they really believe, that it just happens to not be true, it's not the same situation as someone intentionally lying. And so the problem with that is that we humans, the only way to tell the difference between the two, if somebody says something that doesn't come true, the only way to tell the difference is if you can read somebody else's thoughts, if you can read their mind, and you are able to see within their heart and know the thoughts and motivations of their heart. And now, I know a lot of these heretic hunters, it appears that they think that they have this godlike power to do that and to be able to read somebody else's mind, but none of us can do that. We learn in 2 Chronicles 6:30 that only God knows the human heart. So that is the very important reason why lying is not part of the false prophet test, because we don't know the difference. So instead, we have to look at their behavior. Do they behave in a way that is in alignment with the fruit of the Spirit and with the definition of love that we get in the New Testament? So that is why we are looking at external behavior that we can observe. Okay, so that is my answer to Carol 503.